On this week's GTA 5 o'clock, GTA Online rumours discussed and debunked. The voice of Trevor gets in touch. Plus, we unravel the impossibly big, insanely brilliant, top secret ultra conspiracy at the heart of GTA 5. You'll definitely want to stay tuned for that. If it's happening in the world of GTA 5, we've got it covered. It's this week's GTA 5 o'clock. Hi, welcome to this week's GTA 5 o'clock. I'm Tim Weaver. I'm here with Dan Dawkins. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Tim.
Dan, a pretty exciting week this week, not least because we've got a massive conspiracy coming up in the show later on. But first, what do you want to tell the people out there?
Well, we're going to look at some of the latest news. We can round up the launch week figures. I mean, we quoted some pretty big figures within 2 days last week. We've got some updates on that. We've also got some shout-outs. We've got some nice prominent members of the GTA community have given us shout-outs, including the voice of Trevor, which is great.
Yeah.
We've also got some new stuff on GTA Online, and we've got our big conspiracy theory, which will be pre-flagged with spoilers.
Okay, please do like and subscribe so that you can never, ever, ever miss an episode of GTA 5 o'clock. We will be continuing on, ploughing a furrow, talking about GTA Online as it gets launched. In the meantime, Dan, let's talk about sales. This week, GTA 5 had what can only be described as a small measure of success.
Yeah, an incredible measure of success. This figure did the rounds end of last week. Just to confirm, they say that GTA 5 has made $800 million in global first-day sales. Global first-day sales, that's incredible. Which is like £500,000-ish. For us British types, which is utterly incredible.
500 million.
Yeah, not £500.
£500,000 wouldn't have been so good, but 500 million pounds is pretty good.
Sorry, that's why I'm not a multi-thousand millionaire, because of my grasp of maths. So, yeah, they were saying that would probably translate to roughly 13 to 14 million units of game sales, according to analysts. And again, the last big GTA title, which is GTA 4, that sold 13 million in the course of a year. GTA 5 has sold it in literally days.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
That's redonkulous.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that we speculated about how much the development of this game, including all the marketing and all that kind of gubbins, would have cost them, and we were probably shunting it up towards the $200 million mark. But don't worry, they made that back plus 3 times more in a day.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if actually the figures for costs were estimated clearly, right? And I think the cost for advertising could be way higher than even we predicted, because I haven't been able to move for GTA 5 advertising, even in my relatively sleepy local Wiltshire town, which is sort of in the middle of England, in the middle of nowhere. There's GTA 5 billboards.
Yeah.
And in fact, you sent us lots of pictures from various places across the UK and the world with exactly the same billboards. The entire world knows about GTA 5. That is expensive.
Yeah. Anything else on the sales front, other than we assume that with the amount of money he's made from this, that Leslie Benzies is going to look even more dapper than he did when we went up and saw him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be rocking diamond teeth next time we see him.
Yeah, because he had fantastic teeth.
Fantastic teeth, but yeah, you know, all power to them. They've worked hard. This is a great success. Just want to add some quick things. One is that there's been problems with digital downloads, which I think are ongoing. People reporting that the game runs a bit laggily if you run a digital download. It seems like our glorious digital future isn't yet ready. I think the infrastructure isn't there in various parts of the world. That's a shame. Also, there's a report of another glitch within the game. And this is something, again, some of you have contacted us with, that when you park cars in garages, sometimes they're just going missing.
Yeah.
Now, that's an ongoing issue that Rockstar are looking at, and we're waiting for resolution on that. So unfortunately, as it stands, there doesn't seem to be a guarantee that your car will remain in your garage, which is a fairly major thing if you're spending hundreds of thousands on modding it.
Okay, so that's the success story this week. A couple of shout-outs now, Dan. People we want to say thank you to.
Big shout-out to Stephen Ogg, who you will know as the voice of Trevor.
Yep, the Og Monster.
The Oggy. He's given us a shout-out on, in fact, the GTA 5 o'clock verdict show we did for GTA 5, which you can find on our CVG YouTube channel. He's on there, and he's popped on and just said, thanks for the comments. Words to these effect. Thanks for the comments. Hope you enjoy the game. cheers, and you link through, and it's the official account of Stephen Ogg. Amazing.
There's a good video out on his own personal YouTube account where he has taken a shot of himself in front of, I think it's a New York billboard of maybe just Trevor or maybe all three characters, but definitely Trevor, and he does a little bit of Trevor into the camera in front of this poster of Trevor, which I thought was quite good.
Oh, that's nice.
But anyway, as well as that, we've had our good friends at Rockstar Newswire have helped us out this week. Yeah,
Rockstar Newswire ran a little roundup story of all the various videos across the web, like loads of cool, fun videos. There was a really nice Mythbusters video that I really liked, where they were talking about things that you're supposed to be able to do in GTA 5, and they tested them.
That was really good, yeah.
That was really nice. But yeah, Rockstar gave us a shout out for our how not to punch a shark video.
Yeah, fist fighting a shark.
So that was pretty funny. And we've also had a little shout out on Digital Spy for our Mount Chiliad cable car leap, which has done quite well. And as you know, the channel is absolutely full of mission completion videos and lots of like fun challenges played by me and Tim. Just a word on that. They're not tutorials. Like, I know a lot of the comments are saying, lol, these guys can't play game, idiots.
Yeah.
And the point is that they're supposed to be fun.
It's a bit of fun.
Yeah, I can't blame you if you don't find them funny. That's entirely your discretion. But trust me, the playing isn't like, it's not supposed to be pro tutorial tips. Not by a long measure.
And just lastly, Dan, a bit more of a kind of serious appeal.
Yeah, I've got to be a bit ambiguous about this, but there was, on the day GTA 5 came out, a kid was mugged and stabbed getting the game in the UK, and that was like obviously a really serious and sad story. Somebody involved with GTA 5 has been in touch with us who would like to find out who that person was, that I think, offer them something nice or do something nice for them. But we're not at liberty to disclose who, but if anyone knows discreetly who that person is who was mugged or stabbed, if they can let us know, it might be that we can arrange a liaison between them. I just think that the person involved would rather keep themselves secret for now. But yeah, it would be a nice thing, and I think that's obviously a really sad story, and we'd love to see it have as happy an ending as it can, So get in touch, probably on @GTAVOclock, not directly with the name, but perhaps asking to DM us, and we'll follow you and like exchange it on a direct message might be the best way to do it.
Okay, so moving on to GTA Online then, Dan. Plenty of rumours this week, not least thanks to an XML, I don't know what you call it, gubbins? Is that the technical word for it? Anyway, 32 players, microtransactions. What do we make of it?
Yeah, well, what's happened is people have been through the source code of GTA and have filtered out all sorts of things in these like XML spreadsheets essentially, and pulled out information that's relating to the game. Now, one of those things is that they're claiming that the game supports 32 players, and the Rockstar have originally claimed it was 16 players. That's what they told us. Now, it also turned up some information on modes in the game, and it said it includes a free mode, deathmatch, team deathmatch, races, cops and crooks mode, which is all sort of in line with what Rockstar suggested to us, isn't it?
Yeah, although I'm sure I read, we haven't got it in front of us here, but I'm sure I read yesterday that Rockstar from their official Twitter account came out and said, we don't know where you've got that information from. GTA Online remains 16 players.
Yes, and it's important to clarify that is the official word. So if people then go, I'm disappointed you said it was 32 player and it isn't, Rockstar have never said it's 32 player. We've speculated on the show that in future, particularly with next-gen versions, we wondered, could it expand in size? Is it technically going to be more feasible for next-gen versions? Provided, again, the next-gen versions come out, which we've always believed they will.
Yeah.
We don't know, but for now, you've got to assume it's 16-player. But there's some credibility in these XML leaks, or some of the leaks that went around pre-launch. Also, in that XML files, they found references to microtransactions.
Read out what they found.
Yeah, I'll read what it says. There's a Reddit user 1880 who found a number of cash cards in different denominations and a short description of how the cash packs work in these XML files. And the description goes: "Cash is king in this town. Solve your money problems and help get what you want across Los Santos and Blaine County with the purchase of cash packs for GTA Online. All purchased cash is automatically deposited in your character's bank account. Spend wisely. Cash therapy is fleeting. Now, there's a series of packs you can buy. There's $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, and $1.25 million cash cards. This is as well as a collector's edition, a special edition, and an atomic blimp.
I mean, none of the. I mean, the detail is of course, if it proves to be true, the detail is good. It's nice to know, but this isn't any of the, this is not hugely surprising because we said on a show right off the back of having seen GTA Online that we suspected that they would have to go down the route of microtransactions, among other things, perhaps because it simply wouldn't financially stack up for them to make GTA Online free for all time.
Yeah, it's there's a negative connotation around the word microtransactions that I think Rockstar will be aware of as anyone else. The minute you mention it, you get images of cheap, tatty iOS games that are trying to trick you into tapping the button and buying 50,000 gold doubloons.
Yeah.
For like actual real money or, you know, fun coins and all these types of things, and like effectively progress blocking by stopping you from having fun by using microtransactions. Now, I think Rockstar, we touched on this in a sort of an off-the-record fashion with Rockstar, and there's no official word from them because essentially they don't know how it's going to work themselves, and certainly if they are developing plans because it's out next week, I think they see it very much as a development work in progress thing. All of GTA Online, effectively, when it launches, it isn't launching as a finished product. It's launching almost like a rolling beta, where GTA Online will launch. This is a big undertaking for Rockstar. They're going to take stock of what's working and maybe what isn't, and the world will be constantly like iterated and changed and rebalanced and tweaked. So it's going to be like a constant live proposition. There'll be constantly new content going into it. I guess they'll be looking to see like how the in-game economy balances and what people are finding about it. So the truth is that they couldn't say definitively, yes, it's going to be microtransactions, yes, it's going to be service pay, yes, it's going to be free, because they didn't know. And like maybe now they've got an idea, but I think, again, that's up for grabs. If it's microtransactions, which is what it sounds like, and to me, and we talked about it on the show, it's always made perfect sense because there's perfectly nice, valid ways to do microtransactions. A lot of big games have used them. Dead Space, various other things, perhaps infamously Dead Space, but there's a lot of big AAA games that have used, microtransaction packs quite sensibly. And it's not blocking your progress, it's just a speed up to get places quicker. But I think you'll be perfectly capable of playing GTA Online for free, as they said, at launch, having a full experience, having fun. It might be you've just got to work a bit longer to get, like, let's say, a really good sniper rifle or a brilliant decal or a tattoo or a certain modification. And I think, essentially, if you pay more in GTA Online, I think it will be for the kind of preening, peacocky stuff, like, I've got the exclusive T-shirt no one's seen. Yeah. Or I've got that. I think it won't be like fundamentals. It would be like that surface type stuff. Yeah. That's my speculation. That's what I think.
One of the things, just lastly on that, one of the things we talked about off air before we were prepping the show was the actually pretty small gap between the release of GTA 5 and GTA Online. I mean, we always knew it was going to be 2 weeks, so we're assuming it is still going to be 2 weeks. We haven't had any confirmation of when it's landing from Rockstar yet, but it actually seems, in retrospect, now we've played the game, quite a small period of time, really, because there's a lot of people out there, us included, who are still playing this game, who in many ways haven't even scratched the surface of the single player. And at this point in time, I could honestly say I'm excited to go onto online because I want to see what it's like. But at the same time, part of me is like, I'm not ready to go online yet because I haven't even scratched the surface of single player.
It's a really difficult balance because there are some people, I've literally seen this on comments threads, which I can't believe, where people are going, screw you, Rockstar, your game is too short, it's rubbish, it's for babies, it's only 40 hours long. For some people, maybe at the extreme of people who expect every game to be 100 hours and brilliantly polished and relentlessly balanced and all these things, you could argue that, but it's madness, really. And for most folk who've, say, got other commitments, jobs, family to attend to, different things, there's not enough hours in the day to see all of GTA 5 single player. There simply isn't enough hours in the day. I often play it and feel daunted because I want to go off on a side mission or do something crackers, but I feel like almost this thing of I've got to crack on with a single player thing.
That's exactly what I felt playing it, yeah.
And then it's almost scary that GTA Online launches so soon, inverted commas, like next Tuesday potentially. I don't feel ready for it in a way. And a lot of people will. They'll be like, I've done GTA 5 now, I've done the single player, you show me everything there is. And in fact, we'll get onto the fact that I don't think anyone's seen all there is in GTA 5 for a fact, which we're going to talk about in a minute in our slightly spoilery big conspiracy section. But, I just feel, for me, it feels a bit soon. And at the time, it felt like 2 weeks would be fine. But now I feel like, whoa.
Yeah, no, I feel exactly the same. So, mentioning the big conspiracy, why don't we get onto that? We should flag up that if you're worried about spoilers, how spoilerific would you say the following section is, Dan? Pretty spoilerific?
Mild to moderate spoilers.
Mild to moderate spoilers.
It's not core story spoilers, but it's spoilers about Easter eggs in the world. So if you want to remain completely pure, don't listen on. I will also add, but if you don't listen on, it's exceedingly unlikely you will ever find any of this stuff because it's really hardcore, high-level, ultra-completist material. I just want to say as well on GTA Online, we've got exciting news about GTA Online before the service launches. If you like the show, please as always, click the like button. But I would urge you to subscribe because we've got something really exciting coming up before the launch of GTA Online. Okay.
So let's crack on with this conspiracy theory. We're going to try and keep this relatively spoiler-free, but the very nature of it means that it is difficult to kind of keep it entirely 100% free of any spoilers. Dan?
Okay, I'll try and top line this so everyone can understand it. This is the hottest subject of debate on all the sort of leading GTA forums, like literally on the GTA forums, on the GTA 5 Reddit page. There are like individual subreddits purely about this topic. There isn't a very definite name for it, but it seems to be like the GTA 5 Master Conspiracy, or rather the GTA 5 UFO Conspiracy. It's all based from, there is, and everyone can see this isn't hidden. When you go up the cable car to Mount Chiliad, when you get to the sort of base station, directly in front of you is a sort of line drawing, almost like a caveman style mural, right, of like a big eye and then almost like a mountain underneath it with a network of lines, different shapes on it, and at the bottom there's a picture of like what looks like a UFO, an egg, and what we think is like a stick man wearing a jetpack. Now, this mural started out as a grave mystery that no one really understood its significance. People have variously speculated that it is in fact like a face-on drawing of Mount Chiliad, and that each location, like hot location on it, referred to a different point on Mount Chiliad. What we know, sort of as much through deliberate action as chance, is that it seems like certain points on the line drawing relate to very specific points on the map. And when you overlay the mural on the map as we know it, and that could be the map taken using the in-game radar or taken using the blueprint map you get with the game, when you overlay it on top so that the eye sits pretty much over the top of the coastline, it ties up what looks like the location of a number of really big Easter eggs that have been found, almost exactly, which then implies that there's a number of unfound things in very specific locations that you should be able to see on screen. So I'm going to run through what people have found, how you find them, then I'm going to talk about what we think has to be found, and then what we think is going to unlock.
Okay.
So, first of all, there is a piece of writing on Mount Chiliad that says basically, come back once you've 100%ed the game, and so, something will happen, essentially. You can see a message. We should have that on screen. Now, when you go back to Mount Chiliad and you've 100% completed the game, I don't just mean finish the story, I mean literally 100%ed it. So that's a really high barrier for entry. And you go to the mountain edge on a stormy night, and it doesn't have to be stormy with the lightning and the rain and everything going. But when you look out then, you get to the edge, you will see in front of you a glowing UFO. It rotates, it's got lights, it's making noises. it's really a sight to behold. It dwarfs a lot of the screen. What's weird is that the characters can look at it but don't especially react to it. As in, it's not like you go up there with Franklin and he goes, "Holy wow!" You know, like, look at this. You know, it's not like that. It's weird that they don't react to it, but it is there. It's so clearly visible. Now, there's a theory doing the rounds that the UFO isn't actually like a real UFO, but a UFO hologram. Now, part of this is born out of this footage again on the net of projected holographic lights on the side of Mount Chiliad. Now, I don't know if the inference is that's the hologram projection point, or if that's coming off the UFO and sprayed the other way. I don't know, enough about it that way, but that's definitely a thing. So the feeling is that this is almost like this is the first UFO you see to set you on the trail of finding the other UFOs, almost like a hint, like to say there are UFOs to be found. Now, this UFO also apparently has distinct markings on it, which we will get onto when we find the next specific UFO in the world. So that's the sort of the northernmost UFO atop Mount Chiliad. It's a hologram. Now, if you go to Fort Zancudo on the western tip of like Los Santos and Plain County, we know Fort Zancudo. It's where the fighter jet is. It's where we try to break in and get a tank.
Yeah.
In there is a little installation that at a certain time of the day emits very bizarre lights, like circular lights, glowing lights, neon lights. It's weird. And people had noted, why are there weird lights in this location in Fort Zancudo? Now, if you fly above Fort Zancudo in like a good performance helicopter, and like not just fly slightly above, really fly high above. Now, to trigger what happens, you need to basically go to the skyline to a point where it no longer sort of says you're in Fort Zancudo, but the word San Andreas come up in the bottom of the screen. It's almost like you've tripped the hemisphere barrier, and you can see the curve of the map. Now, when you've done that, you're in the right zone. And if you fly around approximately the area these lights are, around Fort Zancudo, which you should be able to see on screen, eventually a UFO will materialise into view. And it's sort of like the one above Fort Zancudo looks like a really dark industrial UFO, almost like something from Independence Day, or maybe even the ships in District 9. They're very tough looking, and it's almost got like talons on the bottom. It's black, it's got these moving talons. You can fly around it, you can fly above it, you can try to parachute onto it, and I think almost through a bug you can land on it. You don't land on the actual ship, you land on its force field. You can't destroy it, and if you fly underneath it, your chopper gets disabled and it will start dragging you towards the floor.
Right.
So it's a really fiddly thing, but again, you will see in the footage we've got on screen, this is achievable, it's there, it's real, it's amazing. There's no tacit acknowledgement, no light comes on, there's no like, you found the so-and-so. It's just a thing you can see, it's very definitely there. So that's one of the achievements we think we've got to hit. Now, if you move to the other side of the map, to the eastern side, in Sandy Shores, there's a not hidden at all, really, mural stroke, I suppose like graffiti site, where there's lots of like drawings, graffiti, talking about aliens with words like beam me up, alien grey pictures, all these sorts of things. It's just there on the cliffside above Sandy Shores. Really obvious, really bright and day glow. If you ascend vertically north from there, and then go slightly further north on the map, which again we'll show you on screen, using the same techniques, you go above the hemisphere, you go to San Andreas, there is another UFO. This is a different UFO, it's a grey UFO. It looks older, it looks more like the traditional notion of a 1960s UFO. As I speak, this is actually interesting, it might tie to a later theory, I'm forming this theory in my mind. This UFO, and this is the amazing bit, when you see it from above, has the words FIB on it, which is the, GTA 5's version of the FBI. So, what are the FIB doing with a UFO? What's going on? How can they have their own UFO? Now, this is where it starts to get incredibly shady and conspiratorial. The eye and the lightning strikes come off the eye are redolent of, essentially, the Illuminati, which is, in the real world, one of the big unifying conspiracy theories. There's probably lots of different ways this can be talked about. The eye is, famously appears on the dollar bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's linked to aliens, it's linked to lizards, it's been linked to the big banks, it's been linked to like our secret ruling hyper elite. It's all these different things are tied up to this shady Illuminati conspiracy theory. And I'm not an Illuminati expert, so people, if you do know more about it, please leave the comments, suggest your own theories. But it's likely Rockstar have hit on that. It's also worth noting the lightning bolts coming off the mural are again redolent of Illuminati-style posters that can be found throughout the world. Franklin has an Illuminati-style poster in his front room.
Lester has one in his hidey hole as well.
Yes, and there are buildings throughout the game that have this scrawled on them. So it seems to be part of a bigger Illuminati conspiracy. There's weird graffiti on some walls that talks about references aliens and different things. There's chalk writing on Mount Chiliad, which is very weird. Something like 1 is done, 2 is something, and it references 8 different things. And it's weird, and no one really knows what it's for. There's also phone numbers in the game that you can ring up, and you will get things like dead answering machines, bizarre messages. There's like a network of weird things, and nobody's fully joined the dots on them yet. What seems to be the most significant is that we found these 2 UFOs. According to the mural map, there are 2 more key things to find, right, that we haven't found. Possibly 3 more things to find, depending how you read the last clue. We don't know what they are. The internet currently doesn't know what they are, or certainly didn't as we record this, and this is breaking news. Now, it's worth tying all of this up to... I'm talking for ages here.
So you don't think those are more UFOs then?
They could be, but we don't know.
Right.
We think they're more UFOs, but we don't know. And again, the internet's split on this, but we think it's more UFOs. Yeah, this ties to the blue Blacklight map that we've talked about. You get the blueprint map with the game. Now, if you reverse that and you use a blacklight, like a UV lamp on it, you do get this weird writing and clues and hints.
The collector's edition of the game.
Which we talked about last week, right? Yeah. Now, one of those locations circles the prison, and it says on it 9A, I believe.
Right.
Now, that is the name of, and you go, well, why 9A? What does that mean? When you fly into the prison, which instantly trips a 4-star wanted level, and it's incredibly dangerous, the buildings are labelled clearly. There's a 9B block, a 9C, and a 9A. So 9A is the big sort of square central block. You can descend into the middle of it. Now, we had a big go at this yesterday. We couldn't find any clearly visible open doors. We couldn't find any clear identifiable markings or any places to enter. But some internet folk are reporting that there is scroll on one of the walls on that building that relates to a hidden UFO part in the ocean. So it would tie it up as part of the bigger UFO conspiracy.
Right. Okay.
Right? Now, we don't know, and it might be that, again, depending on how you place the mural over the blueprint map, it could be that you could align the lines of the mural with the etchings on the blueprint map. So you've got 2 clue maps on top of each other, on top of the main map, which could align and create sort of like a higher truth, which we're currently working on. Now, the prison is one of them. There's a series of like little drawings of spheres with little like antenna lines, which we think are the UFO locations. And in fact, on the blueprint map, there's one called CBL, and it's got like an omega sign, then the UFO. Now, some are saying CBL means carbon-based life form. Omega alien or whatever it is. So again, that seems very suspicious. There's a couple of other markings, and again, there's the "they're here" marking with the UFO, which is, well, actually, it's not entirely where we found the UFO, but it's close. Now, if you go further south, there's like a UFO marking at the north, kind of like quite near the Galileo Observatory area, and it says "shoot for the stars." Right now, nobody's clearly deciphered what this means, but shoot for the stars could have a couple of inferences. One is that you literally shoot at the stars with a sniper rifle, and it could be at a certain time of day, at a certain condition. It could be a certain character. It could be all sorts of trigger conditions. Now, in GTA history, sniping the moon did produce results.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So it could be something like that, or you could look at stars in the context of where we are, and that's kind of like North Hollywood stars, celebrity. Could it be shooting at, whether it's characters in the game? Could it be one of the celebrities in the game is a member of the Illuminati? You know, that's a pure conjecture theory. Could it be that it's the Star Walk outside the Oriental Star Theatre? I don't know, but that there's something to be discovered there. So what we're trying to do, just like everyone else who's involved with this on the internet, is get to the bottom of it, to solve the Blacklight puzzles, to tie this up with the mural, and to try and make it all make sense. Why are we doing it? It's because we believe that when all these certain conditions have been met, we think it's going to unlock 3 prizes, right? These are the boxes at the bottom of the mural.
Yeah.
One is, we believe, a flyable UFO.
Yeah.
It could be, some people speculate, it's actually the UFO that's found under the ocean to the very north of Palito Bay. We don't know that, but that's speculation. The egg is very intriguing. Now, some have said, oh, that egg is clearly a dinosaur egg. I don't know where that's coming from, but there is, on a certain part of Mount Chiliad, a shadow that resembles a T-Rex's head from a certain projection.
Right, okay.
This is mind-blowing. Could be that. It's much more likely in the context to be like an alien egg.
Yeah.
You would think.
Yeah, you would think so.
And then there's the jetpack. Would Rockstar put a jetpack in GTA 5? Almost certainly.
Yeah.
It was one of the hottest, most talked about things in GTA San Andreas. It's one of the most fondly remembered moments in the series history. Why not make getting it truly special? Not just giving it to you on a mission, but making it a really special thing. Furthermore, where you find the mural in this shed, it almost looks like the mural is on what looks like a sliding door. To the left of it, it's like a corrugated thing. Some are speculating that goes through to a further room or a lift, and that what you're ultimately searching for is hidden behind that door when you satisfy these other conditions. It could be that you need the jetpack to find the final secret and then unlock the final prize, which maybe is the UFO, maybe it's this egg. We don't know.
What is, just taking a sidestep away from this just for a second to ask you a question, what is the latest on finding Sasquatch?
The latest on finding Sasquatch is he can be, there's a couple of things. One is that he can be glimpsed in the mission with the O'Neill brothers by looking through the scope, but you can't get to him. So there's a hint that he's in the game, right? Now, another is like our fun random chase around to see if you can find him, which didn't yield much success. Or if you 100% the game, and it will unlock a special Strangers and Freaks mission for Franklin, right? This again is a spoiler, called The Last One. And that mission is where you meet up with your hunting friend and you go and chase an actual Sasquatch
Right.
across the, like Mount Chiliad and the terrain surrounding.
Right.
Now, again, spoiler alert, you catch the Sasquatch and he sort of begs you for mercy and says, I'm the last of my kind, why would you do this? And as Franklin's talking to him, he goes like, you're not even a Sasquatch, you're just a man. And he whips off his mask and it's just some hillbilly dude.
Right, okay.
Now, whether that's the end of Sasquatch...
Well, because that's the reason I'm asking, is whether the egg might be like a Sasquatch-related mystery, you know, maybe it's or maybe it's not Sasquatch, maybe it's another mythical creature, or, you know, you talked about dinosaurs, but I'm just trying to think within the sort of mythology of the GTA series, what might, because we've got the jetpack from San Andreas, we've got aliens,
yeah,
which has there been aliens in previous GTAs?
Well,
There's been sort of
it's kind of San Andreas again, but
and then we've got the egg, so I'm just trying to think whether it might, maybe it's not necessarily Sasquatch, maybe it's another mythical creature, I don't know, or maybe it's not, maybe it's like you said, maybe it's an alien.
Here's the really exciting bit. If this wasn't already complex and exciting enough, right, there's a link that the prizes are tied to the 3 playable characters. 3 prizes, 3 characters, right? Now, the egg is Franklin, because in the game his role is like the newcomer, he's up and rising. And then you've got like, and I don't know which way people are reading this, the jetpack, which I'm guessing is more like chaos, fly about, do anything. That's Trevor. And then you've got the UFO, which for some reason means Michael. This is a tenuous theory.
Maybe it means an alien coming from a different part into a new...
Oh, an alien in a new territory, which would actually tie up and be completely true. So, well done, Tim. That's brilliant.
Thanks very much. Yeah. I'm off to retire.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So, like that there's sense to be made in that. Now, the more interesting bit is, again, mild story spoilers potentially ahead. There's a line at the bottom of the mural that connects Trevor and Michael. Now, we do know they know each other before the story begins, so there's a natural link between them. Franklin, the first time his line joins to another character's line, it is Michael's. Michael's the character he reaches first. Later on in that path, he meets Trevor. That's further up the step. And you're moving up the step towards the eye, and it reflects the branching nature of the storyline and various decisions you've got to make. So it could be that it's a multi-layered clue, and it could be that, again, certain characters are supposed to unlock certain prizes, or certain characters have to unlock certain conditions. One of the theories about the Sandy Shores UFO is that they say a hatch opens at the bottom of it and lights emit from it. Now, if you look where it hovers over, and this is this Sandy Shores UFO mural, and there's things like Beam Me Up on there, it's speculated that you have to be abducted by a UFO to trigger the condition.
Right.
Could it be that only Michael, or is it only Trevor that can get abducted?
Right, okay.
We don't know. The conspiracy is open, it's active, it's exciting and confusing.
Okay, so what are we doing about this then, Dan? Do you want to give a quick mention to how we're going to pursue this?
Okay, well, we're going to pursue it with videos on the YouTube channel. Please subscribe to keep up to date with that by clicking the icon on screen. We will be following on our Twitter account at GTAVOclock. We will also be tracking it with a series of stories on computerandvideogames.com, the main website. Now, depending on how progress goes, we're either going to run it as a live blog, or we are going to just update the story as time fits and there's a major landmark discovery. What we want is for you to help us solve the ultimate GTA 5 conspiracy. So if you find any clues, tweet us at GTA 5 o'clock, get involved in the comments on preferably the CVG or Computer and Video Games site page, because on YouTube comments often get lost, or go on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/GTAVOclock. That's another good way to share information, particularly good way to share links and photos if you've got them, as is Twitter. We're going to compile all this stuff, re-promote it, recollate, and act as a central point for the conspiracy. There's also excellent threads on Reddit, there's excellent threads on GTA forums where this stuff is happening. But let's work together, let's crack this, let's see if we can be the first people to fly that UFO, goddamn, into town. Let's see if we're right on this one, and let's see if, Rockstar have acknowledged all the great conspiratorial stuff of the past and crafted a wonderful master theory at the heart of the game.
Brilliant, yeah, absolutely brilliant. So, a couple more things to just touch on before we go very shortly. Dan, you wanted to talk about our cruise.
Yeah, in light of GTA Online potentially launching next week, we've got one GTA 5 o'clock crew, which I think its initials are OCLK. That's the O'Clock crew. That's full now, though we will be actively recruiting back and forth. We're going to launch a second crew, like a shadow crew, that we're literally going to call GTA 5 o'clock Shadow, or GTA 5 o'clock Shadows, because it's a cool name, and hey, it's like GTA 5 o'clock, or 5 o'clock Shadow, when you get a beard.
Yeah. Oh, that is good. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, like,
well done.
I've got a beard, Tim's got a beard.
Yeah.
We love beards.
Oh,
so,
why
not get involved with beards and the idea of being a shadow agent? We'll be launching that hopefully as we speak, but maybe give it a day or so. Check on Social Club, we'll tweet the links out, etc, etc. I haven't decided on the initials yet, but it might be something like OCLS, like, O'Clock Shadows or something. You've only got a 4-character limit on the Social Club.
That's very clever, Dan. Very clever.
We'll see what comes up. So that is the crew that will be building. We'll be fully into it next week. We've also got amazing plans for live launch broadcasts, literally live, where you can join in with us and play and chat to us, hopefully take part in games with us. That's again to be talked about through our various different channels. There's so much to talk about. Then again, as I say, as always, if you like the show, please click like. It really makes a difference for us, and please subscribe, because you won't miss out on all our content. I know we've had a big flood of content coming in on the site, and it's been a bit bewildering for some people. We've talked about the strands and threads last week, so do check last week's show. Just to recap, we've got our missions guide, our collectibles guides. They're kind of coming to an end because we're finishing off our run on them. What we're going to do is a series of like challenge and fun things that Tim and I are doing.
Yeah.
That's kind of like our how to punch a shark, visit the Playboy Mansion, all that kind of stuff, the fun stuff. We'll also be doing these live plays that are going to launch in time, plus we've got all the Easter egg content. So there's loads of strands on the site. That's going to continue. If you subscribe, you won't miss out, and it really helps us out. So thank you so much for your continued support and all your support over the last year.
Okay, as Dan said, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening to us. We'll see you again next week.
Bye.